Welcome, crew. Today we're going to be working on getting a back stencil or the stencil for the back window on the Lexus, and we're going to do that by some birthday wrapping paper. We're going to lay it out. We're going to tape it together. One of my friends is going to let me go over and put this on the back of her car and make a stencil out of the back window. If you saw our last video, I talked about how I wasn't gonna buy a window for this car because it was just too expensive. We're gonna make our own Lexan window, and this is the first step to working towards that. So Chris and I are just gonna lay these two out, string them out, and then we're gonna tape them together. So let's get to that, and we'll get back to you guys as soon as we get this all taped up. All right, guys. So we taped them together. Needed kind of wide so it would get the whole back window. I picked wrapping paper because it's so light, and hopefully it's nice and easy on paint. I don't want to scratch her car. We're gonna go meet up Katie. She also has a SC, a pretty badass SC, if I am honest. She has a 1J with CD009, I believe running Amy Black as well. So we'll get to that. Chris is unable to go with me today, unfortunately. He has his family coming in. But I think we got this. So let's get to it.
Heck yeah, man.
All right, guys, I'm here with Katie.
Hello.
She got this amazing SC300, correct?
400.
Is it 400?
It's a 400.
So this is funny because we are like opposites. Mine's a 300, but it has a 1UZ in it.
Okay.
So she has a 400, but has a 1J.
Right.
And
Mine came stock with a 1UZ. and I
right,
pulled it to
right.
do the one,
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like that's funny because it's like opposites. But so we're just gonna. Would you mind showing the people your car real
No,
quick?
not at all.
But we're here, so we're gonna, after she walks us through the car, I'm just gonna start getting to it. I may or may not film any. We'll see. I'll probably do some filming after we do our thing. But yeah, let's go take a look at your car.
The 1JZ and Heels SC, boy.
Yeah, we're gonna add her Instagram to the screen. But this thing is just amazing. Full black interior. Did you do the swap, or did it come with the black interior?
No, I didn't. So some of the pieces I bought from somebody, but a lot of this this was a gray dash, and I went and had it reupholstered.
Oh, I was gonna say, I see
So-
the white stitching. That's legit. I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Rolled fenders.
Oh,
Did you roll the fenders?
I wish I could take credit for this.
Okay,
real
someone
quick.
did, but
Someone rolled the fenders
Yeah,
for me.
that looks amazing. And I love the rims.
Yes.
Like this is goals for the Lexus.
Thanks.
I'm gonna have a little bit of a different color combo. I'm actually shooting for black and gold.
Oh.
So-
look dope.
So those rims
I
would
was
look
thinking
amazing.
about doing that like a black and gold theme like on my Mini. It just accents looks super good.
Right.
But
And probably my favorite part of your whole car, don't take this wrong, but the wing. I don't know what is this wing called? The one that kind of raises off the trunk. You know what I'm talking about? Because like I have a 400 wing, but it's just like a duckbill, and it doesn't like raise up off the wing.
I
You know.
wonder, you know what, now that you mentioned, it's funny because I'm sitting here thinking like, is that a 97 plus? wing?
That could be. It might be a year difference. Well, mine's a 93, but I have some parts for a 97 plus, so
Okay.
it might have came off a different
Because
year.
I'd have to look back at old pictures so I could see the different colored parts that used to be on my car, but because my car is a 94, but I do have 97 plus parts on it. So it was kind of a little bit Frankenstein from other SCs before it got
Right,
painted
right.
and fully put
Oh,
together.
I'm joining that club.
So, yeah.
Frankenstein SCs, I like it. You actually know the gentleman that I bought my SC from, Leo.
Yeah.
Shout out to Leo
Yes.
if he
I
ever
love
watches
Leo.
this. Yeah, so
Chris Ortega is good friends with Leo, and Chris Ortega also has an SC, and
Okay,
they're
okay.
all, you know,
once
small world.
once it's on my SC's on the road, we're just gonna have to like do a whole big old meet.
Oh, for
but
sure.
yeah, shout out to Leo. I'm hopefully bringing that car back to life. So
Yes. I mean,
Well-
it took me like a decade, so
oh,
hopefully
jeez.
it doesn't
Hopefully,
take
I'm already I think
just
4 or
to
5
pick up
years
other
into
projects.
this. So
No other project. Okay, yeah, and then that's so we're in a similar situation. He's trying to like put the SC together, and was the focus your daily?
Oh yeah.
So
I
the
bought it as
Focus
a
was
daily.
I
And
did
then,
the same thing.
Yeah, went down the rabbit hole of just modding it, blowing it up, and then rebuilding it. And
Yeah.
now I want to focus on the SE.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
Here we
I
are.
did the same thing. We're both like, oh, it's all rebuilt. Maybe I'll sell it.
right, who knows?
I just think about all the other finishing touches I could have had with that rebuild.
Right,
Like
right.
on the daily, like, you know, big brake setup, have my, you know, bigger turbo
Mhm,
setup,
mhm.
like.
Man.
you
And
know,
the harness bar, like I keep staring at the harness bar. I definitely have to get one.
Yeah, so I was kind of like up and down about like getting the back seat reupholstered and then putting it in there, and I'm like, you know, with having the race buckets and stuff, it's not really like usable. It'd be more for a look. So I think I'm just gonna do like an interior design essentially
Yeah.
without a back seat.
Right.
You know?
Well, let's just get to it, I guess, and get it knocked out.
Yeah.
All right, guys, new day. We're back at Chris's garage. We got the Lexan on the floor. We got our stencil here.
Yeah, Dan was able to knock that out last night. It was pretty good. So essentially we just laid out the Lexan on the ground and got Dan's stencil here. So
One more time, I'm gonna give a huge shout out to Katie. I couldn't have done this without her. I could have tried to make a stencil out of my back, like what do you call it? Window well,
Yeah.
without the window. But the likelihood that I wouldn't have got the right measurements because of the arc of the window. If I would have made it without the window, it would have been flat and might have came up short on the ends. So really shout out to her for letting me do that, because now we're gonna get the best template closest to real size and what size I need. So that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, so essentially what we're gonna do is use Dan's template that he made last night, lay it out. We're gonna try to save as much of this sheet as we can. So we'll kind of shimmy this around and see what fits. We might be able to get 2 windows out of it. Probably not, but we still want to save as much of the spare material as possible. We can make another window or something for a different car later on down the road. But so we're going to go ahead and trim this up and get it traced out onto the Lexan. I just got it propped up a little bit, and then we'll start cutting down the size.
All right, so we got the stencil laid, taped down on the corners, just keep it flat. As you can see, I started going around the edges and just tracing it out. And once I get that done, we'll start cutting. And there's the end result.
Yeah, came out pretty good. We did lay it out a couple different ways. It doesn't look like we're going to get both of them out. It's super close. But we still maximize the amount of available space left over. That way we can make another window for another car or something, or a sunroof.
Yeah, sunroof, side little corner windows, anything besides a windshield or back glass. And, you know, I really didn't spend too much on materials. This 8x4 piece of Lexan was like $250, and that's with like a $20 shipping charge. They delivered it to my door.
Nice.
So not bad. I think it's like 5 to 6 mils thick.
Yeah. It's
So if I
5.6 mils.
yeah.
And yeah, now we're gonna get started on cutting it out. We're gonna do a rough cut. Essentially, we're just gonna use the cutoff wheel to get the basic shape around it, and then we've got a little flapper wheel that will stick on and kind of grind it down into the final shape.
Yep. Let's get to it.
All right, so we use the
Jigsaw. And we use the angle grinder. We can definitely say that the jigsaw is the way to go.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we use the angle grinder to kind of cut a rough shape out.
And it just burnt up the plastic and just was all tacky. So
Lots of friction causes melting, bad news. But we cut several inches away from where the final size was, so we're good there. And then Dan went and got a jigsaw from his house, and then we got the rest of it cut out. So yeah, we made a nice little mess in the garage, but hell yeah, we got a window.
yes, sir. I'm not really too worried about how precise the edges were. It's kind of wavy, but it is what it is. I will be using window trim around the edges, so that will make it look nice and when we glue it in place. But
yeah, that'll definitely help out. Also, this was cut with your template was a little bit larger than the actual window size. So
yeah, I actually use
trim this in slightly.
Right. I when I made the template, I went on the outside of the trim and not the outside of the window. So we have a little bit of room to play with. We'll sand the lumps out and make it nice and even when we go to fit it in. But
yeah, definitely.
It's cut out and it looks
5% of the way there, and the rest of it's just once we get it up on the car, we can do the fine little tweaks that we need to get it to fit down in the cavity.
Yep.
But yeah, that was that. All in all, really, Dan and I took our time. This was maybe an hour and a half of actually doing stuff, maybe.
Right.
So it was pretty quick, super simple to do. Dan does plan on putting some tint on here as well, so that'll help out, cover up any blemishes.
Yeah, and I think what I'm gonna do is measure like a inch or a half inch border and spray paint so it kind of resembles original glass. Right. Yep. I'm obviously not gonna put the lines for like the defrost.
That'd be a little too hard.
Yeah, that'd be tedious and not needed. So, but the tint should make it look a little more natural.
Yeah.
Because if I just put it in now, you're gonna know that there's something iffy with it when it's like so super clear.
Yeah.
Like I believe Lexan is actually clearer than regular glass. I don't know.
It all depends on the grades. And
Right. So it'd just look weird if I didn't tint it.
Yeah, and it'd be the only window that doesn't have tint.
That too. Yeah. So, right on.
Cool.
All right, guys. Welcome back. Today, we're gonna be working on putting our sheet of Lexan attach it to the Lexus. We do have to do a little bit of prep. We got all the glass shards from the last window that got knocked out by hail. So we're just gonna do some cleaning up. I did some cleaning up in the interior, just vacuuming up some glass shards and whatnot. Now we gotta get like all up in here and take off all the old adhesive with glass. Once we get that prepped, we're gonna try to match the factory. I don't know what you want to call this, the black strip.
Yeah, it's almost like a masking area.
Right, just kind of, I'd imagine it probably hides the adhesive from the so it doesn't look bad. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to try to replicate that on the Lexan. And we're going to do that by, Chris already measured how wide that barrier or border is. And we're going to add that border to this by just simply measuring the 1.25 inches, was it?
Yeah, it was like 1.25 inches.
So we're gonna just do that along the edge of the whole window. We're gonna cut it out with like an X-Acto blade, carefully, not scratching too much of the Lexan. And then we're gonna pull the protective plastic off here, and then we're gonna spray paint it. We're gonna use this Valspar. It's a matte or flat spray paint.
Yeah, that'll be good. It'll help with a little bit of adhesion, since there will be some good surface roughness there.
So we will also take some sandpaper and rough up the Lexan so it really bites. And then we got some universal trim. The whole reason behind all this is because Lexus discontinued a lot of parts for this car, so you can't get a lot of parts, including the back window, including the window trim for it. So that's the whole reason why we're doing Lexan. I would actually prefer going back to glass, but I just can't find it, and the ones I can find, just too expensive. So we're gonna do a universal trim, and then we'll glue it in. We got the window adhesive here. Got some cut resistant gloves. Big ones to pay attention to, especially dealing with all these safety glass. It may be safety glass, but it will cut you up.
Yeah, it's still glass.
It's still sharp. So we're using I don't know if anyone's aware, but ANSI cut level A5. These are almost deli slicing gloves. These are not going to get cut by this glass. So just going to be protective with that. Once we do install, we got a suction cup so we can stick it to the middle of the Lexan and just set it in place. Got a chisel to clean up. So yeah, that's basically what we got going here. So let's just get to it.
Heck yeah, man. Let's get this cleaned out.
All right, we got the remaining of the glass. I did not realize how bad of a job I did. You could just see like booger on the adhesive. There's a lot of gaps where water came through. I didn't know the proper technique. I should have did my research a little bit better, but this just shows how you need to pay attention and how techniques actually do make a big difference. So we'll go ahead and get the rest of this adhesive out here in a second, but before that, Chris and I are going to test fit the Lexan. Well, to be fair, we already did test fit, but we're going to show you guys, and there is some adjustments that need to be made.
Yeah,
but let's,
and just remember, we did intentionally cut it large. That way we can fine tune it down.
yeah, we could trim it. I wanted there to be a little extra, so I didn't cut it too small. That would be no bueno. So yeah, we definitely cut it small, so there was room for adjustments. So we'll set that there. Put this up here. We'll be probably laying this out in the sun when we glue it in, so it molds better. And Chris, if you don't mind grabbing the camera and showing around what we did. So
Yeah,
these edges just kind of got too close, so we just took a Sharpie to mark where we're gonna trim.
Yeah, just a few little spots, probably no more than a 1/4 inch in a few spaces. This isn't perfectly lined up right now, but earlier we did when we marked it. So this should set in there real nice. Luckily, this isn't a super curved window, so it shouldn't put a lot of stress on it. We're gonna have to weigh down these sides just to get it to hold shape a little bit better while the epoxy cures up.
Yeah, we'll probably use a heat gun with a mixture of the sun to get it to kind of get that form initially.
Yeah, get it to relax a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And then when we do put it in, yeah, we'll figure a way to hold it down so it doesn't pull away from the adhesive. Yeah, no, this is pretty good. I'm glad we are cutting more off.
Yeah.
And not freaking out because we are having big gaps on it.
Yeah. This is coming out pretty good. This is our first time doing a Lexan window, and
no experience with this. So.
Yeah, so far so good. It's going according to plan. So we'll go ahead and start working on getting this trimmed out, and we'll see you when we're done.
All right, so we made our little border. We cut out edge here and sanded it. I wiped it down with IPA after the fact. This is just gonna give the paint something to grab onto. And now we're gonna take it outside and hit it with some spray paint, essentially.
Yeah, the paint we're using has paint and primer in it, and it's also meant for plastic. So it's actually going to bond into the plastic of the Lexan. That way it won't peel. And we're also using a flat, so there's a little bit of texture. And that adhesive, when we put it down after the bisque cures, it'll give something the adhesive, window adhesive, to grab onto the Lexan as well. So we should be good there. And yeah, let's get into it.
Oh, easy. Getting overzealous and just going crazy.
Trying to block some of the wind for Daniel here. All right, so it's been a couple days since we left you on the last little bit, so we're gonna go ahead and get started today with the last little bit of prep work. So we're gonna take a little bit of IPA and re-wipe down this whole area. You know, we got some dust on the car, so really wanna make sure it's got a nice clean surface to bond to. This is the 3M window bond that Dan picked up. We're gonna use also the window is nice and cured up now, so with that flat paint, that'll give something for the adhesive to bond onto on the Lexan, which we did prep with the sanding, so I'm not worried about it ripping that off. Once we get this cleaned up, we'll lay a nice bead down, and we'll start laying the window down in place. The last thing we'll do is take off the rest of the masking material, just in case we scratch the surface or anything like that. It'll help protect it. So we're gonna go ahead and get started, and we'll see you when we get it in there. All right, so Daniel's jumping in there. We got the nozzle cut and give us a nice little triangle bead on there. And yeah, he's gonna try to run this all the way around, and we'll get the panel on. There we go. We're going to start the bead at the bottom and then try to get a little bit of overlap there. So hopefully it'll be a nice continuous bead all the way around without any gaps. It'll help keep any fluids from getting down in there.
I wish we had one of those automatic ones, those electric ones.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be great. Oh.
It's all right. A little more than what we need is better than not enough. We can always clean out any squeeze out.
So we have laid the bead. Doesn't look great. I don't do this for a living. But I think it should be just fine. It's really a workout for sure with that manual
Yeah.
gun.
Forearms.
Yeah. Really would suggest finding one of those electric ones. Those look so easy. But now we'll just prep to get the window in there, and then we'll tape it up. And it's a good, what, 70 degrees right now?
Oh yeah.
60, 70 degrees. So it should only take about 8 to 24 hours or so to cure.
Like that. Yeah, it's about eight hours to get mostly tacked up and cured, but they recommend letting it sit for 24 hours to get full strength. But
If it was colder, it was going to take like 100 hours or something like that?
yeah,
That's ridiculous.
The other day it was like 40 degrees and out here, and it was going to take 100 hours before it even reached like half strength. So we decided to wait till it was a little bit warmer, and today ended up being a perfect day.
Yes, sir. All right, let's get this window put in place.